Welcome to the series on Internet technologies and cloud and mobile technologies. In the next several videos, we discuss components of the web, how the Internet delivers web data, and cloud and mobile technologies. During part 1, we examine different components of the web. Please take a moment to read the learning objectives for this video. The web is a complex system made up of many components. The list of web components also includes elements of the Internet. Since the web is an Internet service, we will include specific Internet components that are important to the web. Additionally, it's not practical to discuss the web without discussing parts of the Internet. The first important component of the web in Internet are clients and servers. Clients and servers are an important part of the Internet, since the World Wide Web architecture uses the client-server model. A client requests information from a server. The server responds to requests for information and then sends the results to the client. A server can accept requests from any number of clients, and even become a client and request information from another server. Internet service providers or ISPs play a critical role in accessing web data. The job of an ISP is to connect clients to the Internet. There are different types and classes of ISPs. Some ISPs provide Internet access to large businesses and others provide access to their home users. Your mobile network provider is an ISP since they provide you with the on-demand Internet access to your smartphone. ISPs should be reliable and have high uptime, meaning they always allow a connection to the Internet. ISPs should offer fast download and upload speeds. Finally, ISPs should charge a fair price for their service. ISPs connect clients to the Internet using wired or wireless media. Wired ISPs use fiber optics or copper cable. Examples of wired ISPs are Kazakh Telecom and Alma TV. Wireless ISPs such as Active and Beeline connect mobile clients using radio waves. Another essential component of the web is website hosting services. Web hosting services provide the essential service of connecting websites to the Internet. They provide a broad range of services required to host a website. The simple web hosting service providers or web hosters give users a place to upload their HTML files. Advanced service providers offer web hosting other services such as email and DNS, or they allow a user full access to a virtual server. Web hosters provide the networking services required to connect the website and server to the Internet. They provide the networking hardware and connect to an ISP with high bandwidth. They provide network security through firewalls to keep out intruders and hackers. The hosting providers configure the servers with the required software such as with the web server and email server software. They allocate sufficient disk space for the web files. Additionally, they provide IT services to back up the web data and maintain the servers. You probably heard about domain names, URLs, and IP addresses. So what are they? Domain name is a unique name of a computer on the Internet, such as Microsoft.com. A uniform resource locator or URL is the exact location of a document on the web that combines the protocol, domain name, and the HTML file name. An IP address is a unique address of a computer on the network, such as 192 168.1.1. Before the node or router can deliver the data, it needs to know where to go. The Internet needs an addressing system. Addressing systems are familiar, such as how buildings and streets in cities have an address. The addresses used by the Internet protocol are called IP addresses. Every host on the Internet has a unique IP address that's made up of 4 numbers that range from 0 to 255. An example of an IP address is 192.168.10.254. Just as mailing address tells the postal system where to send the mail, IP addresses tell the Internet protocol where to send the data. There are several versions of IP addresses. The most common version is IPv4, which allowed for almost 4.3 billion Internet hosts. However, in 2015, the world ran out of IPv4 addresses. This problem meant that ISPs could no longer connect new clients, such as smartphone users. To alleviate this limitation, IPv6 was created using hexadecimal. There are approximately 2 to the 125th power of IPv6 addresses. Just how big this number? One researcher estimated that it would take 69,000 years to scan all IPv6 addresses if they were scanning 1 million addresses per second. The bottom line is that the world will not run out of the IP addresses for a very long time. Computers and humans use different languages. Computers use numbers while we use words. IP addresses are hard to remember. The way routers on the Internet know how to get to a website is through the IP address. The Internet users do not need to know the actual IP address, but the domain name that corresponds to the address. For example, the BBC News website has an IP address of 212.58.244.67. However, a web user only needs to remember the domain name of bbc.com to access the website. A domain name is a unique name that identifies the website. The domain name system, or DNS, does the conversion for us. DNS creates a map between the human-readable name of a host and its IP address. When we type bbc.com in the address bar of the browser, DNS looks up the name and tells the router to go to that IP address. A domain name consists of 2 or more parts, such as google.com or astana.it.edu.kz. The rightmost label is the top-level domain, which is .com or .kz in this example. The next part is the primary domain name, such as Google or edu. However, we typically refer to domain names with the primary domain in TLD, such as google.com or edu.kz. Every domain name can contain subdomain names. A domain name tells the user and the system the order and hierarchy of the network's domain. Using Astana.edu.kz as an example, we know that the Astana.it subdomain is the part of the edu.kz domain. Web browsers know to locate the data on the web using a URL, or Uniform Resource Locator. A URL contains the complete address of the website or web page. Every web page has a unique URL. The first part of the URL is the protocol. Web data typically uses HTTP or HTTPS. The next part contains the complete domain name. The last part of the URL is the specific name of the document or folder on the web server. A final component remains. How does someone get a domain name? Registrars provide this service and allow users to acquire domain names. A domain registrar is a company that provides domain name registration services for a fee. These companies maintain databases that map domain names to IP addresses. They also send the new domain name and IP address information to DNS servers. In summary, the World Wide Web is made up of many components. We examined a few of these elements. First, the web operates in a client-server architecture. Clients, such as web browsers, request information from web servers. Next, we discussed the role of Internet service providers, which connect clients to the Internet. Third, we explained the functions of website hosting services and how they connect websites to the Internet. Next, we looked at how domain names, URLs, and IP addresses function. A domain name is the unique name of a computer on the Internet. A URL provides the exact address of a specific web page. An IP address is the unique address of a computer on the network. Finally, we discussed the process of launching a website and the role that domain registers play in allowing a user to acquire a domain name.